Good morning. Let me see. Hey, great morning, everybody. I'm grateful to be alive. We're all alive today. I hope you guys woke up and gave thanks that you guys have another day to create anything that you'd like in your life. So, I hope you guys reminded yourselves this morning of what you were grateful for. And I hope you set a high vibe. Get your body moving any way possible. And I hope that you're feeding your mind and your body right this morning with the right things. All right. I hope you guys got a lot out of the lives that I'm doing. That's why I'm doing them. This morning, I want to talk about getting over ourselves because that's huge. Okay. And it has to happen. There's way too many things happening that are just not okay. And we beat ourselves up for it. And we make excuses for it. And we allow all kinds of destructive things in our life. Why? Because we're attached to the belief systems way down deep that this is what we deserve for ourselves. And that's wrong. It's wrong. Because your experience here on this earth it's fueled by infinite unconditional love. What that means to us is that we're here to learn and we are here to explore and we are loved unconditionally. But the problem stems is that we don't love ourselves unconditionally. But it's hard to, especially when you don't know how. And that seems so foreign that it's scary in itself. Because we go around thinking that we love ourselves. But do we really? And it's when we stop and we take a look at the choices that we make for ourselves. And we look to see whether those choices that we're making for ourselves, whether they harness us to a hell or whether they're creating a heaven for us. We make things harder on ourselves than it has to be. We really do. And yeah, it's not always easy. Look at the world around us. Our generational systems that have been going on before us and what the results of that are not pretty. You know? Anyway. Let's get on with this. Let's make sure that it's an uplifting morning. Okay? Listen, there's certain things that I want you to know. Okay? Everything that you feed your being with. It's not just food. It's the lyrics that you listen to in music. Your types of music. Because music moves you. That's a way of feeding the soul. That's an energetic feed for you. If you like music. You gotta watch what you're putting into your ears, people. You gotta watch what it is that you're choosing to watch. The type of TV shows that you're getting hooked on. You know, TV shows aren't called programs for a reason. Like, for no reason, I mean. TV assists with the programming of people's minds. Listen, there's a system put in place to keep people out of control. Okay? Because that gives control to those who want it. And it keeps us shackled. Look what's happening to us in Quebec. I don't like to talk politics, but for all of us Quebecers, hey, do you really want to know what I think is happening to us here in Quebec? I smell communism written all over it. I'm sorry. You want to control down to the way that language is spoken in a household? You got an issue. That I smell communism all over it. And this is a touchy subject, but this is the way I think. When I heard that law go into effect, I sat here and I cried. I cried for all of the people that are going to be so deeply affected by this. You know? Yeah. Moi, je parle les deux langues. Complètement. OK? Je me fais pas des excuses pour pas parler la langue, là. OK? C'est compris? Bon. I speak both languages fluently, and I can operate fluently in both languages. I was born here. Now, I cried. I had to mourn the pain for everybody that's going to be affected to ways that we do not yet see. Okay? But I know what's about to happen. And it scares me. So how do we get over ourselves? And I think this is a huge part of this morning's live. Is because there's things happening around me that I have no control over. And yes, it's going to be beneficial for many, but it's going to be detrimental for most. Like, you know, we have to get over ourselves. So all of the negativity that my mind decides to throw at me, I got to talk myself down. I got to remember that this is for learning. And this is what I mean. I don't have it all easy. When you have the enlightenment that I do and you see what's going on around you and you see what people are doing, how could I not be fearful? How could I not be scared? How could I not be filled with doubt? How could I not be ashamed for the people that are acting like this? Because we're all connected. You know, when you see people acting out of sorts, you have to understand that's a combination of their belief systems. And sometimes that's all somebody sees. We're all stuck in the poor me of things. And, oh, this is happening to me, and that's happening to me, and this is happening to me. Well, how do you get over that? You got to hang up the victim role. We're not victims. We really aren't. But what we're allowing is not all right. What we're allowing for ourselves, what we're allowing for the people that we love, is not okay. And to think that it is, there's a problem. How can, you know, these laws and these things that we're governed by, this is the way I see it. If every single person on this planet was connected to their truest nature, now what's your truest nature? It's the unconditional love that gives you this experience. The infinite unconditional love. Now within that love, there's infinite possibilities of what you can have and what you can do because you're tapped into the all-knowing. Now, you think all these great scientists that are creating artificial intelligence, and you think that all of these great scientists that are coming up with all of these research, they weren't guided by something? They're not smarter than any one of us. What the difference is they've tapped into the all-knowing. And they've pulled their answers from there on how to do what they wanted to do. But that's a part of their journey. So all of the common people in this world are just like anybody else. And all of these great named people are just like anybody else. We're all fueled by the same thing. Now, what we choose to do with our experiences, that's what makes it different. Yes, we've made a lot of bad choices for ourselves. And that's okay, because we're here for learning. So what you may think is a bad choice for yourself actually forced you to grow. And while you're on the highs of life, well, okay. You're feeling great. You got things worked out. Everything's working in your favor, right? So now, do you really remember all of your other qualities when that's going on? No. And this is why we have to have the highs and lows until you reach your baseline and be able to function from that point all the time. But it's very difficult to reach that baseline. Because even as much as I'm aware of my baseline and what I need to do for myself to remain okay, listen, it's simple little things. But yes, life distracts us from it. Because that's the way society has created it to be. All right? You got to take the time for yourself to get over yourself. And you got to be self-loving while you do it, because you do matter. So all the hurt and the suffering that you're feeling, because people are suffering right now, you can change that. Take your pain of anything and let it fuel you to make better choices, because that's what it's for. The reason why we feel hurt and the reason why things happen to us to hurt us is so that we can make better choices. It's not to scar you. It's not to hold you back. Nobody can love you the way that you can love yourself. Nobody can trust you the way that you can trust yourself. Nobody externally can guide you the way that your soul knows its journey. It knows what it has to do. It knows why it's giving you this experience. But that soul is connected to your heart. And why do I know this? I want you guys to understand that when somebody's heart stops, that's game over. Okay? Now, what does the medical system do to start your heart again? Think about it. They shock you. It's an electrical current they zap you with. Okay? Our heart runs on electricity. There's 3 nodes in the heart. There's an electrical current that forces your heart to pump. That's your soul making it work. And this is why there's no death. Because this lifetime is just a mere experience. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but that's facts of it. Now, your soul is sourced by the Prime Creator. Now, you see, it's confusing to some. And why would we have these experiences? And why would we be here on earth and living and trying things and exploring things and learning things? And there's one reason. This consciousness, the Prime Creator, it wants expansion. It wants growth. It wants learning. The knowledge that we are here acquiring goes back to the consciousness. Okay? That's why we all matter. We are God's tools here on the planet, if you want to call it God, okay? Because this is how you associate. So let me say it like this. We're not just merely having experiences here. We are God's pawns. We are God's soldiers. We are God's servants for learning. And we are supposed to make mistakes. And we are supposed to learn to be better people. And we are supposed to live what we're living. But we don't have to make it hard on ourselves. We have to get over the fact that you think you're a victim. Because you're not. And as long as you've been given another day, well then, the consciousness wants you here. And it wants you to be exploring every avenue and every option for yourself to become a better being for yourself and for the planet. We all have key parts to play in this great change that's happening. If it remained the same, I'm sorry, we're heading for another extinction. Another one. Not the first one. Another one. This planet... Hang on, I've got somebody at my door. Hang on. Sorry about that. Okay. Anyway, yeah, get back on the topic of learning. We're here to learn. We're not here for no reason. We all play a very key part in it. And you know, we always blame God. Oh God, why are you doing this to me? And, you know, if you really loved me, well, you wouldn't do this to me and you wouldn't do that to me. You're doing it to yourself. Okay? That's what it comes down to. We're given an experience of life that people have become very ungrateful for. And that's why the planetary shifts have to happen. Because these mindsets that we've been stuck in have to change. If you're not being loving to yourself and loving to every situation that you have in your life, you're going against what you're made of. And that's where the true problem stems. Yeah, it may sound corny to most. But if you don't surrender to love, you are working against your truest nature. So, I've been asked, how do you be loving in everything? And if you're in bad situations, well, how do you be loving in that? Because you're just living the bad situation. Well, I want you guys to go look up the Kabbalah, okay? And it explains your being. Now, I've posted it on my blogs. I've posted it on, and that's the picture that you see all of, like, you know, the bubbles and the intertwines, and there's all kinds of things, dynamics of it. Well, severity is part of it. Just as much as beauty and just as much as, you know, everything else. So, but you have to apply this severity to the intensity of your love, and you don't settle for anything but that. It sounds harsh, but no. It's a lot easier not to be loving and keep projecting a negative vibe, because if you're not being loving in everything that you say and do for yourself primarily, you're taking your gift of life for granted. Okay? So, let me shut this up. Okay. All right? That's why it's key to get up in the morning and be grateful. First thing. There's frequencies of energy that you vibrate at. Right now, your frequencies, if you're having any kind of troubles in your life and you're stuck in them and you replay them over in your mind and you're not feeling good about yourself and you don't feel that you should be where you are and you're living this, oh god, okay, I've got all kinds of circumstances. A lot of us are in toxic, terrible relationships that are just dragging us through the mud, but because that's our comfort zone and because we believe that's what we're worth, we accept it. Okay? And we make excuses for ourselves. And we tell ourselves all of the stories about why we can't change it. And we tell ourselves all of the stories about, oh, I wish it was like this. And I wish it was like that. And we're focusing on all of the stuff that we don't have. And all of the things that you want. But that's coming from a place of lack. That's why I have to be loving to myself and to everything that I do and to all the lives that I touch. There's a frequency that I'm vibrating at that I refuse to settle for anything less than that. So when I freak out on people, because I do. Oh, I do. I do. To what somebody else may think I'm freaking out, but no, I'm just intense. And my words, when I have something to say to somebody, they feel my words as if I just punched them in the face. Because the reality and the shell shock of that, yeah, it shifts the mindset. But why do I do that? Because I'm being loving to myself. And these gushes that come through me of energy that I'm feeling, I have to deal with that and I have to let it out. It doesn't matter how severe it may be for somebody else. Being loving to myself is saying in any situation, now how is this situation doing me any good? That's what you have to ask. Why do I allow myself to go through this? I can change all of this. And it's a mindset, but it's powerful. You got to really work at it. You got to work at it. So this is why it's so important in the mornings to write down the 5 things that you're grateful for. And it's important to set your day. Write a to-do list for yourself, even if it's small goals. Because a lot of us are feeling down and out right now. So let's fix that. But we got to get over ourselves to fix that. But when we understand that we're made of love, an unconditional love, and we have nothing to be fearful for in this experience, unless we create it to be like that, then we can start changing our mindsets. And you can do this. But you got to be loving to yourself. Yes, loving to yourself means that you don't tolerate anything negative for yourself. Just that alone. Don't tolerate negative thoughts towards yourself. Don't speak negatively about yourself. That's self-loving. You know, we all get negative thoughts, but we got to get over those things. And we got to get over ourselves. And we got to say, no, I matter. And I'm amazing. And you have to tell yourself these things every day. Especially when nobody else will. You can't expect that or depend on that from people. Look at the world today. It starts with you. You got to get over yourself. Get over everything that you've made yourself to believe. Oh, I'm like this because. No, you're like that because you choose to be. So if you choose to be different, you will be. Starts with being self-loving to yourself. And that's why you can't be loving to anybody if you cannot love yourself. I'm sorry, we all have narcissistic traits. All of us. Whether it's amplified in our beings or not depends on the trauma that we lived as children. I was a narcissist for years. Okay? And I was a gaslighting narcissist for years. To myself primarily. Okay? And to everybody else. Because I did not care. I felt like, hey, yeah, this is my experience. Well, hang on. And I remained loving to everybody else. But I was far from loving for myself. So genuinely, when you think about it, how loving can you be to anybody if you can't be loving yourself? You can't. It's a contradiction right there. So I don't care how many of you think you're doing great things in the world. Yes, that's great. But unless you're unconditionally loving yourself, that's all I'll say on that. Unless you're unconditionally loving yourself, your thoughts are just remaining your thoughts, and they're creating those vibrations. Now, affirmations, people think, okay, that's a little crazy, Toby. Like, you talk to yourself, you tell yourself all of these things, but you know what? It's because I feel the difference. I feel the change. I know where I've been able to get through doing this stuff. That's why I believe in it, because it's not just sitting here telling you, oh, okay, do it. No. I am alive today because I do these things. These are serious things. These are more serious than making sure my bills are covered. These are more serious things than making sure of anything else. My well-being is primarily key to me being able to do anything. And I'm working on that. Yes, I'm doing things to lose the weight, and it is coming off. But no, let me correct that speech too, because everything we give life, I'm not losing the weight, because I don't intend to find it. I am getting rid of the weight. Why? Because I want to feel light. I want to feel healthy. I want to be able to move my body right. I want to enjoy my life. That's why. But that's on me. I can't tell you all what to do, but I can give you little tips and tricks. And you got to set your vibration for the day, because then you can get anything accomplished in your day with a lot less effort. That's the key. And that's why I encourage you guys all to, the minute you get up, set your vibration for the day. Things will start to work out easier for you, better for you. Make better choices for yourself. That's where it starts. We think, oh shit, change, panic. No, breathe. Do you know that very small changes create huge results later on? Little. Make the little changes that you don't feel in your life. Because those simple changes every day leave room for greatness. Because while you're stuck in your life and your victim role, you're not being loving to yourself. And what I mean about victim role is that you make excuses for yourself. You don't believe in yourself. You're full of shame. You're full of guilt. You're full of denial. While you're consumed of those feelings and those thoughts, there is no room for love. And that's what you have to understand. So in order to truly love yourself, you have to get over yourself. Because why are you carrying all of that stuff anyway? Because that's what we've been trained to focus on. Okay? All of the focus on, what we want and what we don't have versus what we have. Once you realize your own power and once you become loving to yourself, things change. Any situation can arise. It doesn't matter. When you change your mindset, you can clearly see, holy shit, okay, I overreacted there. It's self-loving to self-reflect. It's not to beat us up. That's one of our greatest tools to be able to make better choices. Reflection isn't supposed to be for us to play victim role within our minds and self-destruct within our own beings before we even attempt to do anything outside of us. That's what's going on. Any negative thoughts create negative thoughts. Any positive thoughts create positive thoughts. But when these things are foreign, either or, your body is going to react to that and go, oh, this is foreign. This is a threat. You know, especially if you've been operating from a state of not loving yourself for a long time. And then you try to love yourself and your subconscious goes, oh, no. Who do you think you are? This love shit. Come on. No. You've been feeding me negative hormones for 40 years? And all of a sudden you're going to feed me the hormones of love? No, you're not. Because my normal is being in that state. The non-loving state. So what's going to happen is every time you try to infuse love and try to change that setting and it's abnormal. So your body's going to react to that because your subconscious, again, is going to do everything it can to protect you. And actually, you know what? Maybe this is where I should go this morning. I want to read you guys something. Okay? This is something that I've been studying because I really want to know how to get over myself. You see, and this is the thing. People may think, oh, Tobi, you're studying because, you want to be this, you want to be... No. Listen, I want to get over myself. And I want to get over my life that I've been handed. And I want to turn it into the magnificent experience that it's supposed to be for me. Because that's what it's supposed to be. But nobody can make that happen. I got to do that for myself. So how do I do that? Well, I got to learn about how the body works. And I got to learn about why we react the way we do. And why we believe the things we do. And it all has to do with our experiences and what we've sucked into our beings since a very small child. Okay, I want you to understand some functions of the subconscious mind. Okay, the subconscious mind takes care of everything. Everything. Okay, and it kindly communicates to each part of your body. It self-talks and it answers back. All right? It's the storehouse of all your memories. It's where your emotions reside because that's your reactions to restabilize your body. Remember, if you haven't seen my live on emotions, go check that out, okay? It represses memories that contain unresolved negative emotions because it remembers how it made you feel. All right? So it doesn't want you to relive that. So it keeps it away from your being. The unconscious will represent repressed negative memories for resolution and not always at the most appropriate moment. Because its job is to protect and preserve your life. Okay? It may continue to repress negative memories to protect you. So allowing you to live normally or as a common person. Okay? It runs your body systems, heart, breathing, reproduction. Okay? That's my menopause talk about it. Yes. All right? It seems that it has a detailed knowledge of your body because it knows what it needs to do. It has certain jobs it has to do to keep you alive. And on top of doing that, it has to protect you. But as long as you're working against it and you're not living right and you're not thinking right, that's why we battle within ourselves, okay? The primary function of the unconscious is preservation. It's to preserve you. It's to keep you alive and whole. So you have no... I was about to swear. So you have no business in there. Okay? It has a job to do for you. But mind you, with all of this victim role stuff and not getting over yourself, you know what you're doing? You're playing against your own being. So that's why we suffer, because we don't allow things to just be. And we don't allow ourselves to get over all of those belief systems. And we don't allow ourselves to be loving. That's all you got to do is love yourself. The body knows what it's got to do. So once you start loving yourself, then you ask your heart, hey, and you ask your soul, hey, what would I love to do? Your answers will come up. Your life will change. Guaranteed. And that's how I've been able to do this. But remaining loving and getting over myself, don't think that shit doesn't happen to me. Things happen to me on a daily basis. And because of what I'm a magnet for and I pull into my life, trust me, there's shit every day. But I gotta get over that. As quickly as it happens is as quickly as I'm over it. And that's the difference with me. Anything that happens, I don't care how drastic it is. And I don't care how devastating it is. I analyze it. I see it for what it is in its simplest form. I don't make excuses for what it is. I understand that people are just a reflection of what their thinking is and their beliefs and what stage of life they're at. But I have to be loving to myself first. Because if I can't do that, I can't be loving to anybody. And that's for real. You know, and you gotta love yourself enough that when it doesn't matter what happens. We've got this. You just have to tell yourself you're okay. No matter what's happening. Take that pause. Get over yourself. Because any reaction to anything is yours. It's self-inflicted. That's why I say get over yourself. Doesn't matter what happens. It's your opinions, your judgments, and whether you're self-loving or not that determines the results of that. And nothing else. There's nothing being inflicted on you. Actually, the only thing that's being inflicted on you is the gift of another day for you to get it right. For yourself. Because that's where it stems from. When we get it right within ourselves, and it's not about anybody else, and we take that stand to be loving to ourselves first, everything else just makes it's easy to get through. The hardest part is starting to love ourselves, because we were never taught that. I think that there should be a kindergarten class on self-love. There should be a class in every grade on self-love, self-care. That's more important than math. And that's the one thing that's lacked in this world. And this is why we have to get it right. And we have to get over ourselves. Because the generations after us are affected by it. You know, we can make excuses for it. But then that leaves the next generation to suffer because of it. And that's the truth of it. And that's why I do what I do. I suffered greatly in my life. But a lot of that suffering was self-inflicted because of what I believed, which was not of my doing. Now, if I choose to remain stuck in that, hey, why not? That would be a choice, and that's an easy cop-out. I could sit here and do all kinds of chemical drugs and sit here and kill myself doing all of that. And I can sit here and drink my sorrows away, which don't do anything for me except for make me feel like shit. Okay? Or I can sit here and tell myself, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me, when the accumulation of what I'm living is simply because of the choices I've made. No, I can get up and be grateful for every day and every learning experience because it's all to make me a better person. And it's all to make me understand that I have to be more self-loving. And I have to be more self-loving in regards to what I allow as the thoughts in my mind. My self-talk last night to myself was not that healthy. Why? Because I was disappointed. Just a mere disappointment, which was very, very small. That one negative thought, when I sat back and tried to sit with that negative thought, well, it ran wild. And it took me down a journey in my mind that I didn't want to be on. Now, that was not self-loving. So this is what I mean about getting over ourselves. It's not what's happening to us in our life, and it's not what's happening around us that is shackling us to hell. It's our own selves that are doing it. We need each other, people. We're made of love. Love is a good thing. Love is not a painful thing. There's a lot of very destructive things going on in this world right now because it has to be like that. Because how things have been for so long have to be rectified. So that the generations to come who will exist on this planet now because of the changes have a chance. But you got to be loving to yourself first. And you got to get over yourself. How do I maintain the high vibe? I do affirmations. And I say things about myself to empower myself. I'm amazing. I'm strong. I'm okay. I'm learning. No matter what it is, the situation that's in front of me, I try to break it down to the simplest form. And that's simply, what am I learning? And I quiet my being. And my soul tells me. If you quiet your mind, your soul will speak to you. We feel things for a reason through our heart because that's where our soul is connected to, and that's our first brain. That's where we initially pick up things from, and then it gets processed to the brain. Now, what's in our brains is not so pretty, but we can change that. And I motivate you guys to do that because we have to get over ourselves. We have to get over what we believe about ourselves that's destructive. How do you figure that out? Well, take a piece of pen and paper. Figure it out. Put down different categories on that piece of paper of different areas of your life. And write down what you believe about anything. Any title that you put down, write down what you believe. Because I guarantee you, when you are finished an exercise like that and you look at it, You're going to realize what you do believe. You're going to find your own faults. Because nobody should be condemning you. And you're not condemned to this stuff. I want you to rise above it. Because you're fueled by love. And an unconditional love. So it doesn't matter about, if you feel, I'm not where I should be in my life. Yes, you are. You are exactly where you should be right now in your life. You're not here on a whim. You matter. It's for the great consciousness of things. Okay? It's for learning. And we make our lives harder than we need to do. Really. That's why set your vibe right. Get up in the morning. Be grateful. First things first. And even if your body's hurting you, and even if your body's telling you it's a shitty day, override that. You tell that part of your being, hey, I'm putting you back to bed. Because today I choose to be grateful. Command it to be like that. Voice, I am thankful for my day. I'm a creator. I am going to create a magnificent day. You can go from a state of lacking energy to feeling totally fueled by the things that you say to yourself. Because thoughts create feelings. Okay? And if you can think you can say those things, say them because they are commanding them. So, and if you can't think them in your mind, I want you to get over yourself and take a piece of pen and paper. And I want you to get over yourself and write down all of your great qualities. And I want you to get over yourself and write down all of your shitty qualities. And look at that. These are your answers. There is no two people the same. We're all unique. We have a very unique signature within this great frequency of things. We matter. And as long as you stay stuck in a low vibration, you're not getting the most out of life. And you're fighting against yourself. So let's get over ourselves. Let's get over ourselves and give ourselves what we need to be self-loving. If it takes for you to make a to-do list, a checklist for yourself every morning. Oh, Tobi, I don't have time for that. Why? Because you're not making the time for yourself. You need that time. It's very important before you give yourself anything to do in the day. You give thanks for your day. And you center yourself for 20 minutes. Be grateful. Think about the things that you would love to do for your day. Think about the end of the day. And how grateful you're going to feel that you get all your stuff done and that your body worked for you to get it all done. Be grateful that your body works. Be grateful that your experience here isn't over. Be grateful you've been given another day. You're not feeling so great about yourself? Get over yourself because you're playing victim role. And you're making excuses for yourself. And yeah, I know this is not easy to hear, but this is the truth. So redirect your focus to the great, magnificent life that you've been gifted with today. Don't focus on the things that you don't have. Don't focus on the bad things you're going to tell yourself. Don't focus on all of the shit in your life. Focus on the empowerment aspect and the love of yourself. All right? I love you all. I want you guys to be self-loving. I want you guys to get over your victim roles. I want you all to stop making excuses for yourselves. Do you know that while you're making excuses for yourself, why you're not self-loving? You're also making excuses for yourself of why you can't have love in your life. But you can, because this is what you're fueled of. Anyway, be loving to yourselves. Be loving to everybody you interact with. It doesn't matter who comes at you with what. That's a reflection of their life. And when people are all acting fucked up, I'm sorry, and yes, I'm going to say it. That just reflects the state of their mind and the state of what they allow for themselves. And if you're calm within your being and you're being loving within your being, you clearly see where there is the need for love to be infused. Let's just say, to keep it positive. Okay? Own your own ripple that you put out into this world. Because that's not your own. Your thoughts are not your own. Your actions are not your own. It matters. It affects everything in this world. It affects everybody in this world. Yeah. Oh, Tobi has that possible. No, really, honestly. We're all connected. Energetically, we are all connected. And we are forever tapped into the energy of the great consciousness. You gotta get out of your belief systems. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your diagnoses. You are not your hardships. You are not your shame. And you are not your denial about your state either. Take your power back from all of that stuff. And what I mean by that, and I keep getting these questions about, Tobi, what do you mean about taking your power back? Because wherever you put your focus is where you put your energy. So you're giving your energy to all of these things. So you're giving your power to these things. So you have to get real with whether it's constructive for you or destructive. Whether it's self-loving or not. And it's not easy to look at ourselves. Especially when we're trained to blame and not take accountability for our stuff. Be accountable today. To you, for a better you. Because that's what it comes down to. It's not for, everybody else reaps the benefits of it, yes. But you reap the most benefits of it. I guarantee it. I wish you guys all a wonderful day. Set a high vibe today because you matter. Love yourself. Why? Because nobody on this planet can do that for you. You matter. Get the most out of your days. Where there's love needed, put love there. But understand, if you want a wholehearted love, you got to get rid of all the other stuff. So work on it one by one. Promise yourself that you're going to unleash your shame of things one day. And allow yourself to take love and put it where the shame once held a place in your heart. every day work on another thing that you need to unleash. How do I do that? I give it to the universe. That's what I do. I tell myself this is a greater burden than I have to carry. Universe, because you know and because you are the all-knowing, take this from me, please, because it belongs to you. And that's what I do. To unshackle myself of the weight of these things that I have to live. Because life is not happening to me. I'm having a life experience on this planet to bring love into this world. Just like every single one of you are. Because it's needed. So let's get it right, and let's get over ourselves, and let's get over what we believe we are. Accept the fact that you're unconditional, infinite love. If you need help doing that, ask the universe to open your heart and be sincere, and then still your mind and feel what happens. Because it will. I love you all. I wish for you guys an amazing weekend. All right? To be honest with you, I need a little bit of self-love this weekend. So, I'll be back Monday morning. If I feel in my heart that I need to come on tomorrow morning because you guys need a little inspiration, I'm going to do so. So the lives will be short over the weekend. It won't be like this, like an hour long. It'll be just short pop in, wishing you guys a great morning. I'll probably do it when I'm walking the dogs. Just to keep you guys on a set, like, a high vibration. I do this all because I love you all, and I think you all matter. And I believe in you all. And I'm proud of you all for taking the steps to change. It takes courage to get over yourself. But trust me when I tell you, nobody's going to pat you on the back for that the way that you can. Be proud of yourselves. That you're unshackling yourselves from this crap that you've been living all your life. Be proud, stand tall, own who you are. You're a love and light being, just like I am. And we're here to force change in this great darkness. Shine. Own your shine. Get over yourself and all of your excuses that you make for yourself and for other people. Love yourself unconditionally. And yeah, you don't know how to do that, but taking the little steps towards that by starting to love and starting to be loving towards yourself and all that you say and that you do, meaning stop talking bad about yourselves, stop speaking negatively about others, because you're casting spells on your life. That's why words are spelling. Say the right things to yourself and about yourself. And do these things over and over and over again, and you will stop the negative thinking patterns because you will retrain your brain to think properly. Okay? And we all need it. I had to do it. Anyway, I love you all. I wish you an amazing day. Get it. Today, I want you to get it. I want you to get all of your heart's desires. I want you to manifest and create love in your life. Get over yourselves today. All right? Because that's when you can actually embrace the greatness of who you are. See, you can't feel great about yourself or any aspect of your life if you can't get over all of the stuff from your past. Get over yourself. Wipe the blackboard clean. I love you all. Send me some topics you guys want me to talk about. Get the questions keep coming in. I know I didn't address questions because I'm piling up. I want to have a morning of just questions answered. I think that'll really help you all. So have an amazing weekend. I will touch base with a quick live. I love you. I love you. I love you. Stay with a high vibe. You matter. All right? And be factual. You matter the most. Because if you're not okay, nothing else is okay. So I'd like you to be better than okay. All right? Have a great day. Love you all. Peace.